Welcome to Lesson 9 in the Beginner Crochet series. Today we're using the treble stitch to create a mesh, followed by this lacy cross treble stitch. This swatch has the mesh section, as well as these cross treble stitches here. The mesh is built on double crochet, whilst the cross trebles are made on half treble stitches. All treble rows begin with a turning chain of 3, which is counted as the first stitch. The turning chain for the double and half treble rows do not count as a stitch. This pattern needs a 4mm hook and uses an acrylic double knit yarn. An amount isn't given as this is such a small sample. The swatch is 3 inches in height and 4.5 inches in width. The gauge is based on the mesh section. There are 2 rows and 5 stitches per inch. Here is the chart symbol, stitch name and abbreviation in both terms. I'll be using UK terms. The sample begins with a chain of 21 and a DC in the second chain from the hook. This tells us that there is a turning chain of 1 and there should be 2 stitches. This is clearer to see on the chart. I've already made my 21 chains and I'm ready to begin. Work a DC into the second chain. Then continue working along the chain. I'll come back at the end of the row. So here's the completed first row. This is the last stitch and my turning chain of 3. This counts as the first stitch and covers this stitch below. Our next treble will be worked into the second stitch. So let's work the next treble. Second stitch complete. Now make 1 treble in each of the next 2 stitches. We now have 4 stitches. The next lot of stitches need to be worked twice. The written and photo instructions are the same. You can see how the repeats work on the chart. Chain 4. Skip 4 stitches and make a TR in each of the next 4 stitches. And now we do the second repeat. So 4 chains, skip 4 stitches and a treble in each of the next 4 stitches. And the first mesh row is complete. The stitch count is 12 stitches and 8 chains. Row 3 starts with 6 chains. 3 are for the turning chain and 3 are for the skipped stitches. Oops, got caught there. This is the first stitch. We need to skip the next 3 stitches and work into the chain space. See how the chain 6 makes a gap over the row below. Continue to make another 3 trebles for a total of 4. Chain 4, skip 4, and 4 trebles in the chain space. The row ends with a chain 3. Skip 3 stitches, and a treble in the turning chain. The stitch count is these 8 trebles, the last stitch and turning chain, plus all the chains. I've chained 3 and turned my work, so let's start row 4 with 3 trebles in the chain space. Now we're back on a repeat. Chain 4, skip 4 and work 4 trebles in the chain space twice. Now the second repeat. Chain 4, skip 4, and 4 trebles in the chain space. The stitch count is the same as row 2. Row 5 is a HTR row. It starts with a chain 2 and working in the first stitch. This shows the chain isn't counted as a stitch. We'll be working into each stitch and chain space. Let's begin. 4 half trebles in each of the next 4 stitches. Like so. Then 4 half trebles in the chain spaces. This is the first stitch to work into for the repeat. Carry on with the repeats and work 3 half trebles at the end of the row. I'll be back for the last stitch. So the last treble goes in the turning chain. And row 5 is done. The cross trebles are worked over 3 stitches and consist of 2 trebles with a chain in between. The pattern tells us to skip 2 stitches. The turning chain is the first stitch, so skip these 2 stitches and work the first treble into the fourth. The next treble is worked into the first of the skipped stitches. So, work into the fourth treble. Chain 1, and then work into the first skip stitch. That's our first cross trebles. The repeat tells us to skip 2 stitches, work a treble in the next stitch. Chain 1, work a treble into the first skipped stitch. That's 1 repeat. Another 4 to go. Skip 2 stitches, work a treble in the next stitch. Chain 1, work a treble into the first skipped stitch. I'll come back at the end of the row, so we have a total of 6 cross trebles. Now just 1 treble in the last stitch. It's a little tight. This is our first treble, the second treble, and the chain in between. Once again, our turning chain is the first stitch. We skip the first treble and chain, and work into the second treble. This is the first skipped stitch, where the next treble will be worked. Okay, so, work the first treble. Chain 1. And now go back and work into the first skipped stitch. One cross treble finished. Skip a stitch and chain, then work in the next stitch. Chain 1, and work into the skipped stitch. That's repeat 2 of 6. Continue with the repeat instructions, and I'll see you at the end of the row. I have my 6 repeats, and now the last treble goes in the turning chain. The cross treble should be sitting on top of each other. Row 8 is a double crochet row with a chain of 1. We'll be working in each stitch and chain on this row. Start in the first stitch at the base of the turning chain. Then the next stitch, and into the chain space. Basically, every third stitch is made into a chain. Continue working into each stitch and chain space. I'll be back at the end of the row. Now for the last double crochet in the turning chain. And the swatch is finished. For those that want a copy of the pattern, the link is in the description. To adjust the size of your piece, make sure your chain count is a multiple of 3, plus 2 chains for the end trebles. For example, this swatch is 18 chains for the 6 cross treble repeats, plus 2 chains for the end trebles. That's it for our 9th lesson. I hope your crochet confidence is improving. In lesson 10, we'll learn how to change row colours. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe.